Do it. Get to the chopper now.
Yep, get to the chopper. All right, it says we're live. I think we're live. We're like half a minute early, I think. So welcome all hit or miss. I'm your host, Night Strike. I've got an interesting panel this evening. I've got Scott here. I've got Travis here. We'll do introductions in a second, but I just want to get all this out of the way. So if anybody else jumps in tonight, we'll deal with that. But I got a couple topics to talk about tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also watching the impending doom that is supposed to be happening later this week, which really puts a hinder on my week. Because I'll go ahead and tell you guys what I was trying to keep it a secret, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody anyways. And if Rich hears it, it's fine. But for those that didn't know, the Iraq veteran shoot is supposed to be this weekend. I'm not going to say where it is because only those who are supposed to go know where it is. But Flying Rich was going to go, and he was going to be driving past me and asked me if I wanted to go with him. And I'm like, sure. Do you think you can get me in? It's like short notice. He goes, yeah, I can get you in. So apparently I'm going to the shoot. But with this impending hurricane, I'm not quite sure how that's gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna reschedule it. From last I heard, they're supposed to have it this weekend, but unfortunately, we don't know whether the hurricane is gonna be a problem or not. So that's how it is. Travis,
so once you hit the road, is there any turning back? I mean, what if the weather gets bad? You guys just gonna come back or what?
I don't know. Well, see, the thing is, the hurricane is coming up through Florida. He's coming up from Florida on the eastern side instead of the western side. Okay, and he's driving past me, and then he's going to go drive towards Augusta, I think.
Yeah.
And what the plan is to get into Georgia, because from what I've always known about IV-88 himself, I'm just going to call him IV-88. I'm not going to add the extra 8s because it's too much to say. But what I know about him and the pawn shop he's done, and where he has his stuff, he's not that far outside of Atlanta. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I'm not going to tell you the town because you guys figure that one out. But yeah, man against the masses. That's exactly what it's going to be. But the thing is, it's the way the hurricane is looking right now, Hurricane Ian, because I don't know if you live in the Southeast, you deal with hurricanes. I deal with them every freaking year. Every year I have to deal with hurricanes at least once. Okay. And what it's looking like is once it hits like, Georgia and the eastern part of the southern part of South Carolina, it'll probably be a tropical storm. So between 40 and 20 mile an hour winds. So we'll see what happens there.
That's not too bad. I mean, it's tolerable, but if you guys are out there at the shoot, you're not really going to be able to do anything,
Right. Well, a lot of people bring tents with them.
Okay.
So they'll be shooting underneath their tents, like picnic tents or day tents where, you just put it up and, you put a table underneath. A lot of people bring those.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Swamp Dog Armory. He's over in the swamp area of the South, and it's just I've been through several hurricanes already. Okay, living here where I live, and I'm far enough inland that the evacuation line is just about half a mile down the road from my house for hurricanes. Okay, and the last time there was a hurricane, it was Hurricane Matthew, was Category 3, went through, didn't take my house roof off, anything. The only thing I got was a shit ton of rain, and it busted the downstairs air conditioner. So, right now I'm using a bunch of, window units in the downstairs area to keep it hot and cold out there. because that whole unit is old as hell, and replacing it is ridiculously expensive. I'm not going to do that. Nope. So that's what's going on. So I'm going to go with Rich, and I'm going to bring a ton of my cameras because I got a newer cheap camcorder that does 4K video at like 30 FPS, either 30 or 24 FPS. It's not great by any means, but for like normal video, it's fine. So I'm gonna take video with that, and I've got my other camera, and we'll see how that works. I mean, I may have to go and get a different microphone for him, but unfortunately, I don't have microphones for either of those cameras, so I'm just gonna have to deal with the wind. So,
well, there's always a possibility he could miss you guys. We might just get some rain, and that's going to be it. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one tripod, Swampy. I'm probably going to use the tripod for the camera because it'll fit on both of them. It's just I might get another one just in case. I may get another one, but we'll see what goes from that. All right, so let's introduce my panelists and go through what the topics we got tonight, because we got a couple topics to talk about, and I don't want to bore people with what I'm doing this weekend. So here we got Travis P11. Travis, tell us about yourself. Tell us what's going on with you.
Hey man, not much. Got a new video that's going to be dropped. Instead of doing videos at 5 in the morning, I decided to do them at 5 o'clock in the evening. They tend to get a little more traction if I show them later on. So, but check out my channel, Travis P11, and Caliber Corner. It's actually not going to happen this Saturday. I'm going to take a Saturday off. I'll be coming up, so we're going to spend the day on Saturday, and then my mom's birthday is on Sunday. So I'll be taking a week off of Caliber Corner. Then we'll be back the next week. We've been pretty much doing solid Saturday episodes, I think almost the entire summer. I don't think I missed one at all. And so you can check that out. Those are usually Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time. Otherwise, I'm here, and then I also am on the Get Off My Lawn podcast over with Sand Hills Media, and just kind of hanging out with everybody, man. It's good stuff.
How is John doing? I haven't talked to him in a while. How is John doing?
He's doing great, man. He's doing great. Actually, I didn't get a chance to see his newest announcement, but I know that they've got a lot of announcements coming up for the channel and the show and what's going on, and it should be some pretty interesting stuff for him. So there's just a lot of good news over on his side too. But one thing I was going to say is I don't do a lot of the late night shows. I usually hit the hay like at 9 o'clock with my job. I get up super early. But like in the summertime, I tend to do a lot of shows like Matt, Never Enough Ammo and those guys. But for right now, I just usually hit the hay early. So that's why you don't see me on a bunch of those shows. But I used to be on all the time, but sleep is kind of an important thing to me now. So otherwise, I'm just sitting here chilling with Ammo Dog. So
I was going to say, I could hear the dog.
Yeah, that's him panning, not me. There you go.
There he is. There he is. We got a full slide tap because
full screen,
because hashtag Dog Lives Matter.
That's right. Absolutely.
Doggos matter. Look at how happy
he's been tasting his toys for the last couple hours, so he's pretty excited.
He's a happy boy. Look at that guy. He's smiling.
Man. He's got so much energy now. Surgery. He's about 8 weeks out from his bladder stone surgery, so he's got just crazy energy, man. He never gets tired. And then he's like a little kid, man. When he crashes, he just falls over and falls asleep. It's funny. He's a killer, man. He's a killer.
One of the girls in our office brought in her sister's dog, which was a 1-year-old corgi.
Oh man, they're awesome dogs. A lot of fun.
Super friendly.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Yep. All right, so what do we do? What are we doing first? Travis? Which article do you want to go over first?
Oh,
we got a couple good ones tonight.
That first one, unfortunately, Colio Noir stole our thunder. I thought maybe we were going to be the ones premiering that information, but
no, I heard that from John Crump earlier today, but I still want to cover it.
Well, yeah, it shows up on my Google News. I think we all get the same feeds because we all look up the same stuff online, so that's probably why. But yeah. Let me bring up the article here real quick. Get that loaded. Do you want to start off with that one? That couple finding the rifles?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay. So, guys, there's this couple. There's this couple that here, let me put it back to Brady Bunch mode. All right, there's this couple that sells Pelican cases used that they get from surplus online. Okay. Where are they? Where did they say they were? They're
Houston,
in
Texas, I
they're
think, but
Houston-
they sell stuff on eBay.
They're in Houston, Texas. They sell stuff on eBay. Primarily, they sell surplus Pelican cases on on eBay. And apparently the authorities are trying to figure out how 12 M16s got in their cases that they were sent from the government surplus they bought. But here's the problem. Here's what happened. They weren't sure what to do with the M16s, so they reported them to the authorities, and the ATF and FBI had warrants to go and search their premises and property to take the M16s. And I don't see why that was necessary when the ATF is going door to door to try and take this and that and the other from people without warrants. What do they need a warrant for when these people are saying, "Hey, we bought only cases, and guns came in these cases, and you guys need to give these back to the army or whoever they belong to in the government." And the ATF is like, "Nope, we're gonna go and get a warrant and take these back." They didn't need a warrant because the people already wanted to give them back.
The only thing I would say is maybe depending where they're at, that's kind of some hot merchandise. And if somebody gets wind, you got a dozen full auto machine guns just in the back of your shop. I mean, there could be some scheming going on, but still, it seems like they brought like the full, tack pack with them when they showed up to do that.
Yeah, and these people were saying we just wanted the cases. We just resell the cases. We're a reseller, and honestly, because listen, they bought 108 Pelican cases from the government, to resell on eBay because they're eBay sellers, and they gave one to a friend that was helping them unload them from the truck, and unfortunately, when he brought it home, he opened it up and found out that there was an M16 in there. And he brought it back to them and said, "Yeah, you need to let the government know that they left their property inside these Pelican cases." And what they called the ATF, and the ATF is like, "Okay, we'll get right on it, with a warrant to search their entire premises." There was no need to search the entire premises when the only thing there were in the cases. They told them where it was exactly. It's not like that. It's not like they need to go and go through everybody's house just to find something that came in the cases.
See, I thought they just searched the storage units. They went beyond just the storage units.
Yes, that's what a warrant lets them do.
Well, I thought they just completely searched the storage unit and all the boxes. They didn't actually go to their homes and stuff.
Well, the problem I see with this is the ATF are probably gonna go after them, for violating the law when it was the government that did the wrong thing in the first place by sending it to them with the government shit still in it, because the government sold it off.
I don't see how they're doing anything wrong by reporting these firearms. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do when they find illicit firearms, So I don't think they're going to be held responsible for it. It's just the ATF flexing, showing off their, they're
called boys with toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get all the cool toys and they want to use them.
We'll start calling that tack pack now when they do stuff like that. The tack pack hits the home, they show up in full kit.
Right.
Tack pack. The tack pack's there.
But and that's what happened with that. I'm less like they go to people's houses all the damn time to try and confiscate shit without warrants. And these people called them to take it away in the first place, and they went out and got a warrant for it. It was unnecessary. They wanted to give it back already. And I guess one could argue, be devil's advocate, argue, well, they got the warrant just because they wanted to make sure they got every single gun that may have been misplaced in those cases. Which the problem is, depending on how many cases the government sold already, they may have already sold guns in cases to somebody else already too, of which those guns are long gone because not everybody is as honest as this old couple. Are they, Travis?
Sorry, man. I was muted here. I thought I was muted. Yeah, there's a funny quote in that article. What do they say here? Yeah, it goes, it's unbelievable to think that military-grade weapons would be shipped in containers across state lines. It's pretty shocking. It's like, Fast and Furious, anyone? We've been doing that kind of thing for decades now. What do you think?
No, that was international.
We fuel revolutions around the world. What are you talking about? What?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
What? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, this is the same government that left, how many hundreds of millions of dollars and wonderful FN gear in the deserts of Afghanistan,
Billions with the B.
Billions. Okay.
Billions. Not including cash too.
Yeah.
That was left too.
Though I did find that Black Hawk that they were attempting to fly quite humorous.
Yeah, so there's that.
Black Hawk turned into Crash Hawk.
Black Hawk, Crash Hawk. That's good. That's good. We're gonna go over this one because this one's been in the news lately. Apparently, there's news with the Baldwin case, and apparently he's in hot water now. Prosecutor in Rust movie set homicide moving towards potential criminal charges for Alec Baldwin. And I told you he may get criminal charges because problem is he didn't check the gun, and him not checking the gun if it was loaded or not with the proper ammo. Whether it was his job or not to check it, he should have done it anyways as a safety precaution because he was the producer of the film they were making. Whether he was a starring actor in it himself is irregardless of the point. Okay, he was a producer, so he had technically it was part of his job description to make sure that they are doing everything as safely as possible. Obviously, they weren't.
Yeah, and that's why you contract out a Hollywood gun company to bring in the firearms and do all that for you. I wouldn't expect a producer or anybody that's not the armorer or the actor to know anything about the guns at all. I mean, I still don't see how they could find him responsible unless he claims he checked it and it was unloaded, then he pulled the trigger and it wasn't,
Yeah. But anyways, basically, Alec Baldwin has been looking down the barrel of potential criminal charges after he fired a fatal shot on the set of his film Rust last year in New Mexico. Baldwin initiated a negligent discharge that killed his director of photography, Helena Hutchins, and wounded the film's director, Joel Souza. Yeah, he didn't get one person, he got two. So, good job there.
Two for the price of one?
Two for the price of one, right? Luckily he only killed. Luckily, the second one only got off wounded. But apparently now the local prosecutor, Mary Carmack Altwise, has asked the state of New Mexico for special supplemental funding to prosecute between one of four people, apparently including Baldwin, over the homicide. She needs the money, she says, to counter the big-name defense attorneys who would no doubt represent Mr. Baldwin. The state has approved over $300,000 in special funding to initiate the case. Baldwin initially claimed he didn't pull the trigger on the gun that fired the fatal shot. Bullshit. Amazingly, he made that far-fetched claim despite the fact that cameras reportedly recorded the shooting, which the footage would probably show that he pulled the trigger. I'll tell you that right now. Baldwin claimed the gun just went off. Literally, no one really believed the famously volatile actor, though. And FBI investigators subsequently concluded that the gun in Baldwin's hand that fateful day could not be made to fire without the pull of a trigger.
I know one thing. The paparazzi are going to keep their distance now.
Right, if he'll do that to a director of photography, What'll he do to the guys who just take pictures, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. This is an excerpt from the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail has the latest in the case. New Mexico prosecutors have indicated that they may charge Alec Baldwin over the fatal shooting of the cinematographer on the set of his movie Rust last year, after the actor handed over a cell phone to be considered as evidence. In a letter to the state's financial board asking for funding to prosecute the high-profile case, Santa Fe District Attorney Mark Carmack, Mary Carmack Altwise, oh my God, that's a mouthful, said she was ready to file charges against 4 people. She stopped short of confirming the charges she planned to bring, but said was certainly looking at all the homicide statutes and any gun statutes under New Mexico criminal code. One of the possible defendants is well-known movie actor Alec Baldwin. She wrote. Carmack asked for $635 to prosecute, $35,000 to prosecute the case, saying she needed the money to go up against well-paid attorneys. The state agreed to award her office $317,000 to appoint a special prosecutor to take the case forward. Request was quietly submitted on August 30th and was recently approved. After it was filed, Baldwin, who welcomed his 7th child, his wife Hilaria last week, listed his Hamptons home for sale. Looks like he's trying to liquidate his assets to gain funds to try and fight this in court. But I don't think it's going to work well for him, because the problem is it doesn't matter how good a lawyer he is. They've got him on video. They've got video recording of him doing the deed.
Well, he's got enough money that if he wanted to, unless they've taken his passport, he could flee.
Well, it doesn't look like he's fleeing. He's selling his house probably to pay for a lawyer, most likely.
Probably, but you never know.
Showed his net worth. His net worth is $70 million, but that's probably all of his assets, everything that he owns and has.
Probably.
It sounds like Baldwin's either freeing up money for his criminal defense, or perhaps he's looking to shield assets from any civil claims.
Yeah, that's probably a good possibility too.
It goes on to say he has always maintained that he did not pull the trigger, and that the blame lies with the stunt handlers and prop managers who should have ensured the gun was cold, empty of live bullets. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger. No, he said in an interview about the shooting. He lays the blame with the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who says she was in charge of ensuring the safety of the props. Ultimately, as the producer of the Rust production, the buck stops not with Hannah Gutierrez Reed, but with Baldwin himself, because he was the guy in charge. Just because he was an actor, just because you were acting in the film, is irregardless of the point. Because he was a producer, he had a duty to make sure everything was safe before the actor pulled the trigger. And because he didn't, he's going to get in trouble for it. In addition, the Rust movie was an ultra low budget production that was reportedly racked with all manner of problems. Among them was a turnover of staff and basic safety protocols that were all but ignored. Cutting corners has already cost the production company. New Mexico has already fined the film's makers $137,000 for the safety protocol failures. If Baldwin is ultimately charged and convicted, a prison term may just be the tip of the iceberg for him. The lawsuits, Hutchins' family has already filed a wrongful death suit against Baldwin. Could dog him for years and cost him tens of millions of dollars in legal fees and damage awards. Yeah. So, anyone out there in Hollywood, if you're going to produce a movie and use real guns, make sure you're using the proper ammo before you pull the trigger on camera. Otherwise, you may be in the same problem that Alec Baldwin has.
Well, also make sure that you're not using a first-time armorer.
Mm-hmm.
Get somebody that's experienced.
Yep.
Well known in the industry.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree.
See, if they would have gone with, Night Strike armors or Travis P11 armors,
No,
things would have been much better. But
if they had gone with like Strike Gunworks LLC, or if they had gone with Travis P11 Productions LLC, they would have been fine.
Absolutely, yeah.
I thought it was Nightwagon LLC.
Well,
Nightwagon, Works.
AWAG has declined to be part of Strike Gunworks, so it's just Strike Gunworks because he already has a job with PSA.
Is that kind of like how Smeggy refuses to come on the show anymore?
No. The problem with Smeggy, Scott, is he moved to California, different time zones.
Yes. Or he's seen California chick, so he's turned into a liberal.
Not that far, but far enough to where he has to go back to Michigan to visit his guns.
Well, maybe not for much longer.
We'll see. We'll see on that one. All right, where are we gonna go? We went with that. Okay, you know what? The next one we're gonna go over, which is gonna be hilarious, and I really want to talk about it. So, apparently, Cubans reject Gifford's campaign stretch for gun control push in Florida. Democrats are campaigning differently this year as they aim to connect the party's priorities to the personal experiences of a group that often feels overlooked in national politics. The effort comes at a volatile moment for Latinos in Florida. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis has attracted national attention to immigration after arranging to fly a group of Venezuelans from Texas to Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, as part of a state-funded relocation program for migrants who are in the country illegally. While some Venezuelans and Latinos affiliated with the Democratic Party have condemned it as a cruel stunt, some exiles have applauded DeSantis' actions. Isabella Caballero, and that is her actual name, is a 96-year-old Cuban woman. She said she would not support any gun restrictions. In the years after Fidel Castro and his rebels toppled dictator Fulgencio Batista in 1959, Cubans were encouraged to register their guns. And then what did the authorities do later? They used that same list to go door to door, encouraging people to turn over their firearms. And when they didn't turn over those firearms, they held them at gunpoint and took them. Isn't that what happened? That's exactly what happened.
That's pretty much the story everywhere. Yeah. You know what? It works for the dictator, so can you blame him?
Guns, what for? That's what he used to say. People turned them over, and then the only people who had guns were them. Caballero said of Castro and his allies.
Caballero.
And she said the lesson is, don't let them go. And that's the end of that article. It was just a short article, but I thought it was a very good one because, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're older Cubans, but it's that group of people that have left that country, that registered the guns and then took them all away. Yeah. I don't.
After living under Castro, having a dictator rule you and an army rule over you, and you're unarmed and unable to defend yourself, you can't blame her.
Oh, no. But again, I would imagine that any family or friends that are with her, in Florida would also be of the same opinion, because she's probably told them what happened, or they experienced it themselves too.
Yep.
But this goes into the next. This situation goes into the next article I want to talk about, which there was a poll in gun control friendly Washington, D.C. that shows Americans don't want the banks monitoring their gun purchases.
Well, can you blame them?
No, I can't.
No.
The recent news about the major credit card companies tracking purchases at firearm retailers is ruffling feathers. That is, with everyone except the nation's largest gun control groups and supporters. The International Organization for Standardization ISO, everybody's heard of them, announced late last month it created a firearm-specific merchant category code, and it's gone over like a lead balloon. In the nation's capital, a news station tried to gauge support for the code. What should have been a slam dunk in one of the country's strictest gun control cities ended up being the exact opposite. You know, gun control praise. News outlets all covered the new MCC, which is the merchant category code for firearm-related purchases. The Washington Post reported Visa, MasterCard, American Express to start categorizing gun shop sales, asserting the nation's major credit card companies all agreed to implement the new tracking code. Gun control advocates praised the news. Today's announcement is a critical first step towards giving banks and credit card companies the tools they need to recognize dangerous firearm purchasing trends. John Feinblatt, president of Everytown for Gun Safety, said. But this is only the first step. Well, it's a step in the wrong direction. Moms demand action. Shannon Watts praised the announcement too. These new merchant codes will help banks and financial institutions track suspicious and potentially illegal gun purchases, which no one cares what she thinks. She's just Bloomberg's sock puppet. New York Democratic Attorney General Letitia James, yes, a pillar of the community, added, today's decision requiring credit cards to categorize gun sales is a big victory. One of the biggest cheerleaders for the new tracking code is Priscilla Sims Brown, president and CEO of New York-based union-owned Amalgamated Bank, the gun control advocacy bank that applied for the new code from ISO. We won, Sims Brown added. The survey says law-abiding Americans see it as nothing more than overreach. Even though gun control schemers are praising the code, there has been no definition by the code's backers as to what the suspicious activity means, no word on what the financial institutions will do with the information, and what stores will specifically be coded. Americans see the ruse. In Washington, D.C., Fox 5 News hold their audience on the new MCC. They asked, do you think the credit card companies should track gun sales? In a city that has some of the country's strictest gun control laws and whose citizens overwhelmingly vote for gun control supportive politicians, the response was resoundingly clear. All told, 75% of respondents voted no. That's crystal clear. Americans understand the code isn't about safety at all. It's about tracking them. Because if they were worried about safety, they would double down on charges of criminals caught using guns when they shouldn't have them. They would keep those criminals in jail, in prison, instead of, letting them go whenever they felt like it. Anyways, going off tangent. The credit card companies pushed. The MCC announcement came at a pertinent time. The CEOs of major banks were grilled by lawmakers last week in D.C. over the issue. Bank CEOs from Wells Fargo, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Trust Financial Corporation, and U.S. Bancorp, and PNC Financial all faced questions. Mostly dodged on answers. Well, yeah, they're going to dodge on answers. And didn't deny the bank's consideration of implementing the code, while not outright dismissing the practice. Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser provided only a vanilla acknowledgement while not saying the bank would reject using the code. We respect the Second Amendment. As I said, we do not intend to use the code to restrict or limit any purchases or firearm sales by our credit card companies. Yeah, I don't believe you. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon was similarly coy. We actually don't know what they use it for, and we don't want to be in the business of telling American citizens what they can do with their money. We understand your concerns over the issue, he told members of the Senate Banking Committee. In a letter responding to U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts, Hiawatha, the whitest woman in America, the woman who has hardly any Native American blood in her. I had to just make that known because she's pretty damn white. And several senators, supportive of the new tracking code, American Express Executive Vice President Brett Loper wrote, "We require merchants who accept American Express cards to adhere to all applicable laws. Our policy has been and will remain that our customers are able to make legal firearm purchases using our cards," which is good. So, it goes on. The announcement of the new tracking code for sales at federally licensed firearms retailers has given the country's largest banks just enough wiggle room to avoid being specific. In most cases, they acknowledge the code was created and state they won't use it to deny law-abiding Americans the ability to buy lawful firearms, or that those Americans would be flagged by authorities for suspicious activity. Their answers are far from clear. What is clear is that Americans don't support the tracking code, even in a gun control city like Washington, D.C. Well, and that's just it. Again, depending on what you guys out there in the chat, which side of the aisle you're on this, the issue I am worried about is the problem is when they said they were going to use this tracking code, they didn't state what suspicious activity. They didn't have a definition for it. One, and because they didn't have a definition, that meant literally, no matter what you bought, it could be tracked. One, and two, it could be reported to the government. Just because you bought something with your hard-earned cash, that you worked your ass off for. That's the major issue right there. Why do they need to track you for track your purchases for stuff that you worked hard to buy? You worked hard to get that money to buy those items. What business is it of the banks, to flag suspicious activity? That's the problem. That is the only issue I really have with all this. Because there's no clear definition. And because there's not one, it could be used and abused. Because don't think for a second that those people who harp on gun control all the damn time wouldn't try and put forth a law that could take advantage of this, use it, and abuse it against law-abiding citizens instead of going after the damn criminals like they should. Okay. Yeah. You guys have at it. Hit me.
Yeah. All right. Here's my take on this. When they originally were pushing it out there in the general public, it's like, oh, we're just going to assign it an item code because everything else that we buy has an item code, and, firearms should not be exempt from that. And then you start to hear the other side where like, plus, if there's any suspicious purchases, like you said before, that'll give us a heads up, or if there's ever a crime committed, we can find out. Well, it's like, well, once the crime's committed, why does it matter what code was assigned to the products or where the gun? I mean, they'll go back and check where the gun was bought anyway, to make sure that it was a legal purchase and that the person hadn't, filled out their 4473 illegally, or they didn't fail it and still get the gun sale. I mean, you don't have to code it in the name of public safety. I just think it's ridiculous. It is just another Overwatch thing. And not only that, but this code, this was actually pushed by some major pension fund or something. And one of them I think was like a national teachers union or something, or California teachers union wanted it.
Right.
And I don't know what their financial influence was over the credit card companies, but it was pretty significant. So they were able to basically push their agenda on a business by threatening to withhold funds or saying, hey, we represent a huge chunk of your revenue or whatnot. And, you got to do our bidding or we're going to look elsewhere. So then, of course, the credit card companies caved in. So, yeah. But like you said, at what point do they draw the line between suspicious purchases and not? What if I buy 5,000 rounds and I'm buying it because it hits an all-time low for the first time in 2 years? Is that going to put me on a suspicious list? Is that going to be passed off to law enforcement or the authorities? Because, that kind of purchase isn't typical, even though they're not exactly gun people that work for these companies, And me, I might just be doing ammo as a long-term investment because I can save money on it now because the prices could go up down the road,
Right. And look at it this way. There's there's some guns I want to buy, but I have to sell some of my other guns to facilitate the purchase. And what's them to stop to say that the gun I want to buy once I have the funds for it, that they're going to say that's suspicious that he wants to buy a gun like that for that much.
Or a credit card company says, "Oh, we only allow this code so many times per year." What's going to stop them from firing that crap up too? I mean, they can take it as far as they want to at any point. I doubt they would, because it would cost them revenue,
right?
In terms of limiting the gun sales that people are allowed to make. But still, yeah, that's crazy, dude. But it's already a done deal, right? There's nothing we can do. Already been.
Well,
it's
they
already
don't
been pushed
have
through,
to
correct?
use them.
They don't have to use it. They've standardized it, but they don't have to use it. They're not required to use it because it's not a law.
Well, also it's being pushed by a international organization in Switzerland. They can just tell them to go pound sand.
Right. And again, remember what? Well, it's probably not Switzerland. It's probably European Union, honestly. Because Switzerland,
No, they're
the Swiss like their guns too.
Not as much as we do.
Not as much as we do, no. But it's just, they were grilled by the government. So yeah, once you have to come in front of Congress and and answer questions, yeah, you kind of fucked up.
Well, no, it's more the congressman pointing out that their shareholders might start suing them because of breach of fiduciary duty.
Well, I hate to say this, but if you do something wrong and your customers
costs money,
your customers
stockholders.
Your customers start suing you. You know what? Guess what? Maybe the stockholders should vote in better people to run the company to avoid situations like this.
Yeah, because I think Visa had a 3.5% or 4% drop the day that it was announced it was going through.
I think I heard it was anywhere between 3% and 6%.
Yeah. How many billions or trillions of dollars do you think that was? A lot.
Yep. So again, DJ's posting the information out there on the chat. Remember to make sure to contact your senators and your representatives. He's got the phone number right there for the switchboard. He's also got the list of senators and the list of representatives to contact your local representative and your local senator. So make sure to do that and let them know that you don't like what's going on and you want them to start representing you properly.
Need to do my best impersonation of Sean.
What?
That was my best impersonation of Sean.
What, opening that beer can? Yeah. Well, no. See, the problem is Sean doesn't open a beer can. He drinks bottles.
Yeah, he's pretty sophisticated. So,
I think he drinks bottles more than he drinks cans. Yeah. Watch, he'll text me in a minute telling me it's both.
Oh no, he'll probably be in the chat in a second.
Yeah. No, he's busy. He's busy taking care of shit. That's why I asked him, because he also gave us another article that I kind of want to go over because it ties into what was happening with Roll Call earlier today, where he was going on about it. But apparently, have you heard about this, Travis?
No, what was I got in on Roll Call's live podcast about halfway through, but I didn't know what actually started it. What was it?
It says on or around 9/6/2022, FFLs will be prompted to provide the address of the buyer on all denied or delayed transactions. Read below for more details. It's referenced here in this post here. I'll put it in the side chat for you, Travis. But we're gonna go over this too because Sean sent us this. It's a pretty good one. All right. Let me get it out, guys. I'm trying to do all things. All right, here it is. All right. So it says the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022, Hereinafter Act, was signed into law on March 15th, 2022. Section 1101 of the Act included the NICS Denial Notification Act of 2022. The Act requires the Attorney General to report background check denials to state authorities and will require the FBI Criminal Justice Information Services Division's National Instant Criminal Background Check System, NICS, section to report all FBI NICS denied transactions to local law enforcement within 24 hours beginning October 1st, 2022. The NICS section plans to implement this change on September 26th, 2022. Okay. The denial notification will include the date and time of the denial, the reason for the denial, the location of the federal firearms licensee, and the identity of the person. The NICS denial notifications will be transmitted electronically to the appropriate receiving authorities within each state based on the city, state, county, zip code combination of the FFL location and the city, state, county, and if different, zip code combination of the attempted transferee's home address. If at any time the original denial is changed to a proceed, an updated notification to those agencies originally notified will be required. The NICS section is working diligently on developing the tools to make this notification as seamless as possible. To make the necessary notifications, all FFLs will be required to provide the buyer's complete address and as recorded on the ATF's 4473. For FFLs who initiate the check by contacting the NICS contracted call center, the address will be required if the customer receives a delay or denied status. The information will be required before the status is provided by the NCCC, the NICS contracted call center. For FFLs that initiate the check through the NICS e-check, the address will be required if the customer receives a delay or denied response. Response will not be retrievable until information is provided. Once the system is updated to allow for the capturing of this information, an additional notification will be provided. In addition, if the transfer occurs at a qualifying gun show, future programming may allow for the full address of the gun show location to be entered also. So basically what this means is the government is now telling you that when you go to fill out a 4473 and you get delayed, they're going to notify law enforcement about it. If you get a denial, they're going to notify law enforcement about it and provide them with your home address.
And I guarantee that if the approval goes through, and even if they notify the ATF office that the approval went through, they're still going to stop by your house. Be like, oh, well, we did. Would you explain to us why, you think you might have been denied? Oh, the approval went through. Well, yeah, but we're kind of curious. What do you think might have caused that to happen?
Yes. Ron Wayne, I know what you're thinking. They're saying right now that if you get a delay or a denial on your 4473, they will notify authorities and give them your home address so that they can come and have a lovely chat with you and possibly take you to a wonderful hotel called the Crossbar Hotel, otherwise known as either the local county jail or the prison, depending on your area. So,
it just makes you wonder just how much more crap they're able of coming up with. I mean, it just seems like they're always thinking of something new, Instead of going out there and maybe stopping cartels from bringing their guns over here, and
Well, as I said, keep violent criminals who shoot people with illegal guns in the prisons instead of letting them go. Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
Yep.
So it's ridiculous, but apparently this came to effect today, and I had no idea that happens. But again, I have a concealed weapons permit, and in state of South Carolina, they're not required to send the 4473 in if you have a CWP. So again, it's not that this doesn't affect me, but again, it may, depending on what happens. Depending on it, that they say, "Oh, CWP isn't a qualifier anymore." Everybody has to go through with it. It all depends on what happens. There's a lot of people out there saying a lot of things.
I got one for you that just popped up in my news feed.
Okay, go for it. You have the floor.
Nassau County, New York, is now requiring a urine test for your pistol license.
What?
You're
kidding me.
Check the news section on your damn Discord.
I did not see that one. It definitely
popped up.
We definitely have to cover that right now. Hold on. This is breaking news. So hold on. Breaking news.
Night Strike news alert.
The hit or miss news alert. Nassau County now requires a urine test for a pistol license. What the hell?
No. It requires a piss test for a pistol license.
A piss test? No, I know what that means. I know what that means.
Nassau in Florida or California?
New York.
Worse.
Nassau
New
County,
York.
New York.
It's Long Island, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is Long Island. Nassau County is Long Island.
You ain't get my DNA.
Don't ask me how I know the counties are New York. My father's from New York, all right?
From New York.
From Long Island. So he left with the last Republicans. So don't ask about that.
He's that old.
Yeah. Insert jokes here. Let's see if I can find that on Twitter. What's this? Stambo 2A.
Yep.
Yeah. Here he is. Tweets and replies. Oh boy. Let's see if I can find. Okay, here it is. All right. It's saying furtherance of the investigation of your request for a concealed carry license, please submit the following items in person to the pistol license section. A notarized statement detailing whether or not you've ever been admitted to a hospital in any jurisdiction for assessment, observation, care, or treatment of mental illness. Notarized statement detailing whether or not you've ever been admitted to a school in any jurisdiction for care or treatment of disability. The notarized statement detailing you've not been convicted within the last 5 years of assault. Yeah, we all know that. A notarized statement detailing whether or not any minors are residing full time. I don't see where it's their business on that. The name and contact information of your current spouse or domestic partner and any adults living with you, including adult children. A list of your former current social media accounts in the past 3 years. Yeah, that'll get you denied easy in New York. A certificate of completion endorsed by an instructor. We know that one. Here it is. Here, I'm gonna screen share this because what the hell? What the hell? This is ridiculous. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is just why? Why?
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I think it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Pretty sure that's going to get shot down and they're going to get sued over that.
Look at that. Look at that. It says right there. Urine drug test results from a 12-panel test conducted by United States Department of Health and Human Services certified laboratory. Such results shall be from a sample that was submitted to the HHS certified laboratory no more than 15 days after the date of this correspondence. What the hell? Let me make sure.
Yeah, some lawyers salivating about suing.
So you gotta do that at your expense or what?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, it's another
anything
thing
they can do to make it more burdensome for you.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
like for I hate to say this, but Rob, if you're still in New York, you need to get out of New York fast because apparently, no, it's New York. Now, Rob isn't in Nassau County. I can tell you that right now. But
no, but once one of them does it, the others will probably start doing it too.
Exactly, that's the problem. That is a problem. But yeah.
Well, John Z should be glad he got out of New York.
Oh, John Z's in Missouri now.
I know.
Yeah.
He was in New York, then he was in Jersey for a little while.
Yeah, he was
in Missouri.
He was in New York, and then he moved to New Jersey, and he became New Jersey outcast.
Yeah.
And then apparently just a few weeks ago he moved down to Missouri, and now he's what is it,
Missouri outcast?
He was in Missouri something. I PM'd you.
Isn't everybody Missouri an outcast?
Everybody's in Missouri these days. That's
yeah,
for sure.
I know, man. That's a place to be. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Got Foose there. We got Tony York going there soon, if not already.
Yeah.
Is he there yet or not?
Yeah, New Jersey outcast is John Z. He moved across the river. And now he's in Missouri now.
I got to go visit that guy, man. I got to find out what town he's in so I can hook up with him. Me and him and Foose all get together and chill out.
Yeah, yep. So, Scott, that was pretty good. That was pretty good news reporting right there.
Yeah, it's funny how things like that just fall in your lap.
Yeah, no kidding. That thing came out of left field, I tell you. Because I mean, why would you need a urine test?
Yeah, no kidding.
You're not trying to get a job. You're just trying to buy a gun, get a license to have a pistol.
Yeah, I like his statement too. Are they going to start issuing that out for welfare and other free services?
Yeah, don't count on it.
Will they do the same for people on welfare and food stamps, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not, because that'd be a violation of your civil rights, dude.
Almost like it's a violation of your civil rights and interfering with the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought, huh?
I don't see why you'd need a test like that. I don't know.
I've never heard of them requiring. That's the first one I've heard of that they require a piss test.
It's just one of those things. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Any news that you'd like us to share and let everybody know about? Because after that one, I'm like, I don't know if we've got anything newer than that.
Hell, California hasn't even thought of that one yet.
No, they haven't. That's the sad part.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff, man. That's probably gonna make national news now. Get ready to get your cup ready. Get ready to go pee. So,
yeah, so you can get your permit.
Good thing I don't live in New York.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, it's coming to a state near you.
Yeah, there you go. County near you. Yeah.
So
crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. So with that, we are going to get out of here. We'll up here he is, John Z MOEDC. That's John Z right there. Oh, so he is happy to be in Missouri. United Chef's like, gotta bring doctor's note to buy a gun. Almost. Baron,
don't give them any ideas.
That does go into violation of your right to privacy. I mean,
yeah,
you shouldn't have to pee in a cup to exercise your Second Amendment right, or your First Amendment right, or any of your amendment rights.
I mean, this is America. You should be able to pee in a cup whenever you want, not be forced to.
Well, no.
This country was founded on peeing in a cup. I'm telling you, it's yeah.
I'm not gonna go that far, Travis, but wow.
Nah, I'm just messing with you guys.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. With that, Scott, you have any words of wisdom for the people out there?
Don't miss your target.
Yeah, don't miss your target. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, Travis, what can people expect from you? On your channel.
Let's see, new video tomorrow about 5 o'clock. I think we'll be dropping that one. We took the Colt Trooper Mark III out to the range with some 357 mag ammo and just did a little range test. Otherwise, that's pretty much about it. We got, like I said, plenty of episodes of Caliber Corner you can check out. We've had some really good discussions over the last couple weeks. So make sure you guys check that out, like and subscribe. And again, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, GunTube.org. Let's see, and Gunstreamer. So we're all over the place, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for actually giving us the first topic.
Oh, and remember, my channel, it's not just a channel, it's a quality of life improvement. So that's something to remember every time you subscribe. So there you go.
Yep. So all right, guys. With that, we will see you guys later. Shall not be infringed. And on that note, thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss. Now, how do I turn this damn thing off?
Hey, Felicia, you got to fill it up to the first line. Thank you.
Bye, Felicia.
Not yet,
Adios,
Felicia.
Adios, Felicia. Felicia Navidad.
We'll let you know in 7 to 10 days if you've been approved. Thank you.
We'll let you, if you fill it up to that line, we'll let you know if you passed or not.
If you fill it up to the second line, you automatically get one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Take it easy.
Always wash your hands after you fill it up to the line.
Always wash your hands after filling the line. Yeah.
This is